I know there's a lot of alien talk going around. The proper term is...
I would not call them aliens. They're extraterrestrials. Now, what's happened is the reason they've been showing up more is because of our development of nuclear weapons. The main visitation has been for us to stand out our nuclear weapons, disarm ourselves. Out of the Atlantic Ocean, about 2 miles from us, all of a sudden, this craft just comes in out into our 3D. You could just see it just poofing.
Welcome back to Mike It Loud. I am Brittany Racine. Today I am sitting down with Marcel with Human Initiated Contact, an organization dedicated to exploring the possibility of intelligent life beyond Earth through consciousness, meditation, and direct contact experiences. For more than a decade, Marcel has participated and led expeditions focused on what is known as CE5, or Human Initiated Contact, traveling across the country and working alongside doctors and researchers and some of the leading voices in the field of extraterrestrial studies. We are talking everything from UFO sightings to government disclosure and extraterrestrial contact. I don't want to say conspiracy theories because these are not conspiracies. This is actual data and facts. But if you're into conspiracy theories, you're going to eat this up. Whether you're a skeptic, a believer, or simply just ET curious, this is a conversation that you're not going to forget. And with that, here's Marcel. All right.
Go.
I am here with Marcel today, and he is with Human Initiated Contact, and we are deep diving today. I know there's been a lot of people who've reached out to me on this topic, and I'm so glad that I found out you were the person that had all the answers for this. So we are talking extraterrestrials today. We're talking space. We're talking all the things. So thanks for being with me today.
Well, you're very welcome. I don't know if I have all the answers, but I'll give you as much as I
You have
possibly
a lot of answers for us. So I want to start with, I know there's a lot of alien talk going around. The proper term is...
I would not call them aliens. They're extraterrestrials.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it...
Alien is kind of derogatory. That's what we call them. Illegal aliens.
Okay,
They
so
come from other
space...
countries, and it's kind of has a derogatory connotation to it. So we call them extraterrestrials. Yeah.
They're offended by the word alien.
Well, I would be if I'm being called an alien. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so extraterrestrials.
Yeah. Let's call them extraterrestrial.
Okay, so I want to start very basic because I know Marcel is going to be able to get very advanced for us, and it's going to be super interesting. But from a basic standpoint, I think a lot of people are like, are they scary? Are they nice? Like, what are they? Are they here to do bad things?
No,
or...
not at all.
Well, I guess maybe not here. Wherever they are they bad?
In order to unpack that question, because it's a very loaded question, I have to give it a little bit of background.
Okay.
Okay. And I think the main reason people think that there might be evil, I mean, right now they're calling them demons and so on, is because of programming.
Okay.
Okay. So we've been programmed for decades that there's a threat level from ETs. All of the media in terms of movies that we've seen, Independence Day and and the zillion other ones from The Blob going back to the late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
It's something that's got an evil side to it. That's attacking humans, eating humans, or abducting humans, and so on. So we've been programmed that way. Books came out with the same thing, to be scary and so on. So we've had that programming for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And also from, government officials. There's also another component that most people are not aware, that the majority, if not all, of the abduction cases and so on are done by groups from... There's a group. Let me back up a little bit.
Like staged?
Well, they're staged. Absolutely, they're staged. They're staged to promote that fear factor, and these are classified, unacknowledged special access projects that have been going on for years to create a fear factor. And there's a reason for that, and we can touch on that in a little bit later. But because of all this, us humans here have this apprehension against ETs, that we think they're evil and that they're going to do harm to us.
But it's really made up. Well, it's
It's totally
brainwashing, but also like
brainwashing. Absolutely.
staged activities. Like that's extreme.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of whistleblowers that have come forward that have worked in these special access projects that say, we have been developing these programmed life forms, PLFs life forms, that are robotic with some human components to it, but that they will be put into these anti-gravity called alien reproduction vehicles that we've mastered for decades now, and do abductions to scare the
Scare people.
public. And that's been going on. And there's many people have come forward saying we've done this in several countries. Brazil is a particular one where we've done these stagecraft type of abductions. We've created crafts that release some type of radiation that can burn people and so on. It's another scare tactic, as they say.
We're just hurting people now?
Oh, that's a lot to unpack again.
Yeah,
we can go into that in a little later, but
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you ever been to Area 51?
No. I passed by it, but I didn't go. There's nothing in Area 51, by the way.
There isn't?
No, no.
It's all like a myth?
No, it's
Is
not a
it like
myth.
Hollywood?
No, not at all. It
What
actually
is
was
it?
something, but all that's moved underground years ago, decades ago. Yeah. All that reverse engineering that has occurred in Area 51 has been moved out of there decades. It's now deep, deep underground.
So what is it now?
It's kind of an abandoned kind of field. I don't think there's much there. There might be some remnants left, but there's not much of any significance goes on in Area 51 right now.
It's underground? Like when you say underground, is it like truly actually underground?
Oh, most everything is, deep underground. We're talking about, areas that are within a mile underground, and they're connected with tunnel systems throughout the United States.
Wait, okay, that's totally freaking me out, because I feel like when people say, oh, underground, like it's an underground, I don't know, project, I assume it's just like super top secret, not like truly actually under the ground.
They're under the ground. And there's a tunnel network, and there's witnesses that come forward that describe this tunneling device that is a nuclear powered. It'll go underground. It'll melt bedrock.
Oh, so that's how they dig it?
Absolutely.
I was wondering. I'm like, that sounds so hard.
So we jumped the gun. We were talking about
we got already
the fear factor, and we went down the rabbit hole.
Yes.
So let's back up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a programming, and for me, I was always fascinated with ETs, even as a young boy, and particularly in high school. When Whitley Strieberg came up with his book Communion, I read it and scared the living daylights out of me.
Really?
Oh my God! I was, because he was
it's not real,
abducted.
Right?
No, he was abducted, and no, it's a real thing, but it was staged. It was staged.
Oh, so it's his real story, but the abduction was actually just staged.
But he is not aware that it was our covert groups doing the abducting. There's a lot of people that have made careers out of
being abducted
while talking about it. Like, I hate to go into names, but Linda Moulton Howe, for instance, talked about, cattle mutilation. When Skippy the horse, was found with lips removed or whatever. It was a covert operation. I mean, there were black helicopters everywhere, but she ignored that part and focused on the ETs mutilating the horse, and then subsequent to that, there were cows and so on. And it's kind of like ridiculous, and it's absolute nonsense that non-human intelligent life forms that could be thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, possibly billions of years ahead of us would come to this planet and would have to come down and use some type of laser surgical equipment and procedure to take the anus out or the lips and so on to do some type of experiment. It's absolutely ludicrous.
Right, like that's what they came for? Of all the things you're going to do here, you wanted a cow's ass?
And the thing is, when they can traverse vast distances, I mean, we're talking about vast distances, do you think that they've not developed enough consciously or medically that they would need to come here and do that to humans? I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. It was a scare tactic, again, to promote that fear factor, and there's a reason for the fear factor. So the experience that I've had and thousands of people doing CE5 work, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind work, have never had a negative experience. It's always been a very positive, loving experience. There's never been any abductions. That's all stagecraft. That's all.
So why do they want to scare us? What is their purpose? If If
Why the
actual,
secrecy and why the fear factor?
no, like the actual ET, like
Mm.
what are they about?
The ETs themselves?
Yeah.
They're intelligent beings from other parts of the galaxy or the universe, and they're here. Their exact reason we don't know. There's evidence that they've been here for hundreds, thousands of years visiting the Earth. So if they were hostile and so on, they
We
would
would
have
be taken
extinguished
over.
us a long time ago before we have our, nuclear weapons and subsequent to that.
So they're good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what their main concern is? What we're doing to this planet, destroying
Okay.
our biosphere, what we're doing to one another. Because all we do is war.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as, since man's been around, it's, we're warring for land or natural resources. And that's all we do. We kill each other, and they kind of stand back and look at us, and, they're just.
They're like, you guys are ghetto and embarrassing.
Now, what's happened is the reason they've been showing up more is because of our development of nuclear weapons. When that started being developed in the 40s, that's when they started showing up more, because when we blow up a nuclear weapon, it affects. There's an interdimensional component. It's a scalar explosion that goes beyond our space-time.
Okay, so it's like a wave effect, but like
Yes,
massive.
it can affect
So
communication.
it affects them.
The communication systems and so on. Absolutely, yeah. Because the universe is all connected. There's every
So, but
point.
they don't want to kill us for that or stop us.
They don't
want
want to kill us at all.
They're just like, hey, chill out with the nuclears.
Oh, absolutely. The main visitation has been for us to stand out our nuclear weapons, disarm ourselves.
How would they do that?
Well, they've been asking us to do that for decades, since Eisenhower met with an ET back during his administration. That's what the ET said.
He met with them?
Only one, as far as I'm aware of, only one president has met with ETs, and they said you need to stop using your nuclear weapons.
What did
Absolutely.
how did they talk?
Most of it is through telepathy. There's no verbal communication.
Eisenhower?
Yeah.
He did that? I
Mhm.
feel like that was for way back then, I feel like telepathic meditation, all of that type of stuff was so, like, we didn't even talk about that, did we? And he was like, cool, I'm down to meditate and have
no.
telepathic conversation with an ET.
Because of what was going on with the proliferation of nuclear weapons here in Russia, I don't know if China had anything at that point in time. They were very concerned, and they were showing up, and there was a meeting set up. And I don't have all of the the intelligence that Greer might have that in his archives in terms of what transpired in the desert during this meeting. But there was a meeting, and basically their message was, you need to disarm.
Did he see them?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, so he's like standing there with them?
A lot of this, they can't disclose this. This is
Right.
information that is
Top secret.
top secret, that they can't disclose. Now, Eisenhower wanted to bring this information forward.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Roswell crash and many other crashes back in 47, I think July of 47, when we had the Roswell crash in New Mexico. We had retrieved that, and then they covered up as weather balloons. I mean, just the stupidest thing, to fool the public. And the main reason is not to hide the existence of ETs as much, but the propulsion system, the energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you can take a craft, and traverse a star system or a galaxy, that's incredible technology. I mean, they don't
really understand what you're saying.
look at our rockets, even what Elon Musk has, that's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
1800
technology with, combustion engines. They don't use anything like that. They're electromagnetic gravitics. They use
they're so far ahead.
high-powered systems, but they don't travel linearly. So they don't go from point A to point B linearly. They could, even with their technology, they couldn't do it. They go interdimensionally. They travel interdimensionally. The reason for the secrecy is because of the technology, the propulsion system.
Okay.
So Eisenhower, at that point, wanted to bring the information forward, and he was denied access. What happened was...
Who's denying him?
Mostly it's private corporations,
Okay.
Lockheed and all these other defense contractors, got a hold of this information with the help of the government. And even though they were working together, at one point, it went black and underground and out of Eisenhower's hands. So in
Oh.
other words, he no longer had access to this information, and he was really concerned about that. Because he wanted to bring it forward, they took the power away from him. They shut him down. Believe it or not, people think that the president knows everything. President knows nothing.
Yeah.
They keep this information from him. That's why in his farewell address, he said, beware of the industrial complex. Is because he lost all power. And in it, that went deep black, and it's been deep black, and that's exacerbated to the nth degree, where they reverse engineer a lot of the crafts. And we have ARVs called alien reproduction vehicles based on ET technology. They were very crude in the 40s and 50s. Well, in the 50s, we developed anti-gravity propulsion systems based on ET technology. I think in 1950, that technology has improved and has gotten really sophisticated. And we've also developed what they call scalar weapons. These are longitudinal scalar weapons that we target the craft so we can bring them down. How do I say this? There's a black budget. We have black budgets for that has the oversight of the government. Okay, so they don't ask questions. They just hand over billions and billions of dollars because this is defense, national security. So we have this black budget and this group that develops technology. That's the legal group. Then we have an illegal group.
Okay.
That develops black projects that has no oversight, no congressional oversight.
Right.
First of all, very few are aware that this group exists. And the thing is, these are private individuals. So FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, we can't get anything from them. So they're beyond the purview of Congress oversight and so on.
Yeah.
So money is being funneled to this group. Oh, why is it so secret? Well, because what is our entire society based on?
Right.
Petrodollars, oil, gas,
money,
billions of trillions of dollars. This is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that would end overnight if the people got their hands on, if the public was aware that we have technology, what they call zero-point energy technology, that is free basically and doesn't pollute.
And that's what the ETs have.
Of course, that's their system.
Would they give it to us?
They were willing to share portions of it. It's like handing a gun to a 2-year-old,
Oh, right, because they're like, you guys are going to... No, that makes so much sense.
So it would be...
we want to help you, but we know you're going to do something dumb.
Yeah, it would be pace. So in other words, right now, the government, Trump is trying to release these UFO files, the UAPs, and it's been a little trickle. We were in Washington last week with Dr. Greer to talk about the release. We've been planning it for months and so on, and he was going to talk about new whistleblowers, what's going on with the disclosure. And then the night before he got calls, his phone started ringing off the hook from people in the government saying they're speeding up the release. We're going to do it tomorrow.
Wait, this was like the other day when you were in Washington?
They said right before your press conference, we're going to release it. So at 8 a.m., the Pentagon released the first batch of UFO files. And there was nothing in there. I mean, there were just a few little things, but we have better information in our archives than,
Do they know that you guys have
of course,
more stuff?
Course,
That's crazy. So I feel like I got one question that went on forever.
There's so many components to it.
Right, and it's such once there's so much backstory. I know when I talked to you on the phone about doing this recording, you explained the different CEs. So can you break those down for people who are listening? Because they're probably like, what the heck is CE5?
During Project Blue Book, Hynek developed this terminology called close encounters, and he called it. He had 3 of them: close encounters of the first kind. But if you see a craft, let's say there's a cigar craft shape that goes right above us right now, that's close encounters of the first kind because we witnessed a craft. We see it with our eyes. Okay. Then there's close encounters of the second kind, and that is, let's say, a flying saucer lands on the ground and makes contact. Okay. Now there's physical evidence. Either we saw it land or it left traces on the ground. Maybe it's got an area that it burned.
Like the Signs?
I'm sorry?
Like the movie Signs?
Yeah, it's another.
I mean, it's fake, but yeah,
yes,
Signs.
like that. And again, go back to the movies where they can take something
Innocent
significant
yeah.
and innocent of that and make it a threat, a
Right.
huge threat. You know, the aliens are attacking you and you need a bat to kill it. So
Right. So
anyways,
the second kind is when they actually physically touch Earth.
yeah, the ground. Yeah. So the physical evidence
Oh,
is left
ground. Yeah.
behind.
Okay.
Close encounters of the third kind is the last one that he coined, is when you actually see ET beings. You see ET beings coming out of the craft. So now they've
Life
landed and
forms.
you actually see the non-human intelligent beings coming out of the craft.
Okay.
That's close encounters of the third kind. Then you have close encounters of the fourth kind, which is when you are escorted into a craft, where you actually enter a craft.
Has anyone actually done that?
Many people. Oh, yeah.
But like not the fake ones.
No, not the fake ones. I mean, you go back to Billy Myers back in the 50s, you know, he was supposedly taken on board many, many times. I don't know if you ever follow that. You're too
No, but
young
I
to know
want
who
to
Billy
now.
Myers is. Some of your audience might know, might not know.
You think his is real and legit?
I think a lot of it initially was real. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's got. I mean, for a farmer in Switzerland in the 50s and 60s with very little technology, just a film camera, he captured some very, very compelling photographs and videos. And there's no way he could have staged the crafts that he photographed with what he had access to at that point in time. So it's very compelling. But he's not the only one. There's people all over the world that have.
Okay, so there
Yeah.
have been a few abductions.
You're calling them abductions.
Sorry, what are they called?
Let's just say they were invited
Adventurous?
into the craft.
Oh,
Okay.
they were
Abduction means
invited to
that
the
you were-
party.
Abductions means you were taken against your
Yes,
will.
yes, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so they got an
Yeah,
invite.
and I'm probably going to upset a lot of people when I say that that's a bunch of nonsense, that
Yeah.
ETs do not abduct people. People that have had these experiences and claim that, yes, this has happened to me and they abducted me and they did this. I would say that all of it is stagecraft. All of it is
So they
art.
invited this guy from Switzerland in,
Yes.
and he was like, "Sure, I'll come."
They give him a lot of information, yes. So, and again, that was back in the late 50s, early 60s. That type of contact is very rare.
Would you love if that happened to you?
Oh, I think it'd be wonderful. Yeah, I mean, we've
Like
had,
you'd be like, "Put me first in line when you guys are going to do the
we've
fourth
had a lot of
time."
we've had a lot of contact that's more subtle. And I mean,
Yeah.
the contact that I had in Vero Beach with the group, I mean, they were about 2 miles away from them. That was compelling. They were massive crafts, but they were far away. Couldn't see I mean, they were just like golden spheres. Couldn't quite see the shape of the craft. They were very bright and they were pulsing. But I'll get into that in a little bit.
The fourth encounter, you get
Close enough to the fourth
invited
kind.
in
You're
and you
invited
get
into
to
a
go
craft.
hang out.
You're in a craft. Yes.
Does the craft leave with them in it?
It can, yeah, absolutely. And the craft, so let's say the craft is a 30-foot diameter craft and it lands right here. Boop. And we go in that craft. When you go in that craft, it could be the size of 2 football fields inside.
What?
It's a bizarre. There's witnesses that have been inside crafts underground that we've captured, shot down, and when they go inside, it's nothing like the outside. There's a phenomena in there. There's a massive craft. Yes.
That's so weird.
it
Wouldn't you
is.
feel like you're like on drugs or something?
Why?
You're like, wait, this is not.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
It freak you out the first time you're in there, but you know, we
You get used to it, right?
you get used to it. Yeah. So that's
Yes.
that's the close encounters of the fourth kind. Those are all passive. They
Mhm.
just occur, whether you wanted it to or not. Like if the craft, that cigar shade flew over our house here and we saw it.
Mhm.
Well, it just passed. Did we ask for it? No.
Okay.
Passive. And same thing with the landing and so on. So people witness these things. They're passive. Close encounters of the fifth kind, which Dr. Greer coined decades ago, is human initiated. We are initiating the
You're
contact.
saying come talk to us, yeah.
Absolutely. So human initiated contact, and that's what I'm involved in. We're initiating.
Okay.
It's an active one. It's no longer a passive one. You're actively going to a site and you're initiating contact. That's what I've been involved in since 2015. So
2015 you started.
yeah.
And
I went
then how many like little excursions have you gone on?
I don't know, 60s, 70.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But you travel all over for them.
Yeah, I go all over the country, other parts of the world.
Did you see them or have any kind of contact every single time? Or have
Every
you,
single time, yes.
really?
There's some type of contact 100% of the time. Absolutely. Some of it is very subtle. We will target them. So in other words, when they travel and they come to our 3D space time,
yeah.
okay, now they're vulnerable to our physics. Okay. It's no longer transdimensional or physics. It's now they're bound by the physics of our 3D world.
Right.
Okay. When they come in, there's a excursion of neutrino lights that come
Okay.
out. That's just the physics when they're transcending from into our 3D. There's a neutrino burst. We have neutrino detectors that scientists developed a couple decades ago, who's also a witness for Greer, who developed this. And as soon as he developed that, they put a national security thing on it and they confiscated his stuff. And now he worked for the government. He's also been a witness that's come forward. And he developed this very sophisticated neutrino detectors. We have those now on satellites. So whenever a spacecraft comes out of deep space, they can detect and immediately target it.
And they just shoot it down or what?
Oh, absolutely. They shoot it down because they want the technology. Absolutely.
Do they take it?
Of course they take it. Yes, yes. I mean, the witnesses that we had actually last week, one of them is a P3 operator, meaning they use people with psychic abilities to interact with the ET craft. So they will use consciousness to make connection and connect with the technology on the craft and also the ET beings to guide them for purposes of being downed. I mean, it's
they set them up to get killed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's sad.
The public doesn't know this. And
like, what's the craziest experience you've had?
Define crazy. You mean
like the one that we were like,
most
that
powerful
was
experience?
Yes, powerful.
I would say Vero Beach was.
Where's that at?
That was in Florida. That was my very first expedition, and it was an incredible expedition because that really changed my mind and gave me a different perspective, and I started learning so much more because of that event. I had like I said, a fascination with UFOs and ETs, but also had a fear of them.
Right.
A huge fear, and obviously,
like you weren't confident in your thoughts.
Yeah,
you
and
were just curious.
I was curious because I was fascinated by their craft, but the inhabitants caused the fear. I would have these recurring dreams, and they were pretty wild because they were so vivid. I'd be dreaming, and I would see this craft coming into our neighborhood, and it'd be getting over a house, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is amazing!" And then the fear would kick in. I would go in the basement. I would crawl under a table or go in a closet, hoping that the ETs that come down don't find me. So it's a fascination concomitant with a fear, and that was so reoccurring all the time.
Like you were terrified of them, kind of.
I was afraid of them. I didn't know why, but I was just afraid of them.
So you're like, I'm just going to go face my fears right now?
Well, no, it was more of a very slow process of realizing there's something not right with our world.
Like it's not adding up, right?
It's not adding up. The fact that we're still on fossil fuels. I mean, in the early 2000s, I came to the conclusion of this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I remember in middle school working on hydrogen production from just hydrolysis of water. We're just separating water into hydrogen and oxygen, and and when you put them together, it's this massive explosion, a lot of energy. And they say they're not efficient systems at that point in time. But I'm thinking we could do that decades ago.
Right, you're like, we're still working on that?
And we're still on internal combustion engines, and there was a feeling.
Yeah,
it's a lot. For me, it was a feeling that something is not right. So I just did a little bit more research, and then I found Dr. Greer online and saw his disclosure project, which was fascinating. I didn't really focus tune in too much on the consciousness component. That's also another huge part to this.
Okay.
For contact work. To make a long story short, I found out by researching his website that he had these expeditions where he took a small group of people.
Can anyone do it?
Yeah, and they went to a certain location and they initiated contact. I said, I got to do that. So I signed up for it. It was full. I said, no, sorry, it's been full. So I put my name as a backup, and then beginning of January, I got an email. There's an opening. Somebody, I believe from Dubai, canceled. I immediately signed up and I went to it. I didn't tell anybody. I just decided I got to go.
Yeah, you're like, someone's going to think I'm insane.
It was an innate thing that I have to be there. I just can't explain it. It was just, I need to be there. And so I was there, and, we were all in a circle, and I didn't know anybody, just met Dr. Greer. And I thought, okay, this is interesting. And, meet all these, and people from all over. I met a surgeon, an attorney from Florida, some hippies, a mechanic, multi-billionaire, a whole
So just
mix.
Anybody can sign up.
Yeah. There's only room for 25 people, but yes, anybody can sign up. So anyway, so I met all these people, and the first night we got in a circle and on the beach in Vero Beach, and And he started talking. He's very fascinating man, very intelligent. And he decides that we're gonna get into
This is Dr. Greer?
yeah, a meditation. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna meditate, okay? And I'm like, okay. So we all, get in, quiet our mind and get into a meditation mode, and everybody's meditating, and I'm kind of looking around, got my eyes open, going, "Hmm,
What the hell am I
I'm
doing?
looking for the craft to come in. That's
Yeah.
all I wanted. I wanted to see craft. I didn't have quite an understanding, of what the whole thing is about. So I
But you're
understand
like,
that.
there's a process.
So there's the huge process. So anyway, so they're they're all meditating, and I'm like, yeah, I never meditated in my life.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
had
what am
no
I doing?
idea what meditation was about. I just envisioned some guy in the Himalayas wearing a diaper,
Yeah.
So I really didn't. I never hung out with people that meditated, people that were aware of higher levels of consciousness and so
I
on.
feel like that's kind of trending more now.
Absolutely. People have a hard time understanding that, but that's a huge component of it. Anyways,
So you meditated,
so I'm
sort of.
meditating as much as I could. I just closed my eyes and, went with the flow. And then it lasted for a while, maybe 20 minutes to probably a half hour. And then people come out of the meditation, and Dr. Greer asked for people to share what any experiences you may have had. And some people start sharing some really crazy stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. And then this gentleman's a really good friend of mine now, Ricky Butterfest, says, well, I went to the Galactic Council, and they, and he's going on, and I'm like, Galactic Council? I'm like, what the hell did I sign up for?
Yeah.
And he's going on, and I'm just sitting here going, whoa, this is so bizarre.
Yeah, you're like, I just
Yeah.
sat here.
And all these people started, sharing stuff. But this is what's funny. During my quiet time, my pseudo meditation, I heard these ladies about 4 or 5 feet behind me. And it just kept talking. And I'm like, oh, I thought we were supposed to be meditating. Why are they talking? And during the sharing, one of the people, I can't remember who it was, says, by the way, there was some beings in that direction that were moving around and talking.
Oh, so you didn't even realize that.
I had no idea. And I'm like,
What were they saying? Or you couldn't understand
it
them?
was just like a bunch of women talking, like, they were just
Oh, right.
yapping, yapping. So it kind of like, well, that's kind of weird.
You're like, wait, I heard that too.
I heard that. By the way, that's sharing during these events is super important because you're putting pieces of the puzzle together.
Right. And then somebody else could be like, oh, I do remember that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and you can validate that. So anyway, so I did that thing, and it was an interesting night. And then, I don't know, like an hour later, and we're sitting around, and all of a sudden I see this light that comes down, kind of like a spider with its web. When they drop down? It was a filament of light with a bright light. It goes, phew. It got bright and poof, disappeared. And I'm like, oh my God, what? That's weird. It can't be, a shooting star, because a shooting star traverses the sky. This thing dropped vertically. It went a straight drop and then lit up, and it just disappeared over the ocean. Not that far, maybe a half mile looking east into the Atlantic Ocean. Within 15, 20 minutes, Dr. Greer said, everybody be quiet. He's got night vision. There's 2 people with night vision binoculars. He said there's 2 military people walking this way on the beach. So there's 2 people, and he said, everybody stay down. And he told 2 of the security people, can you go and intercept them and see what they want? Don't let them come. He rented a house, an Airbnb, and we were doing the work in the back. And he said, everybody just stay calm. And the 2 guys walked up there, and the 2 military guys, I'm looking through my chair, and they got these big spotlights, and they're spotting the ocean, exactly where that thing was.
Oh, so you think they shot it down?
No, they didn't shoot it down. They were there to figure out what it was that came there.
Oh.
I mean, what are the chances? We're talking about January, which is winter.
Yeah.
Vero Beach, to have 2 military guys come in about 20 minutes after this phenomena comes down, and they're shining the
But
lights
it's night.
at night. This is probably about 10:30 at night. And I mean, what are the chances of that? I'm like, well, okay, so this is really wild.
Yeah.
So what? But they never made it to our place. They got close, I think 2 houses down. They turned around and walked away. And then we continued, and I thought, that's interesting. Coincidence? Military people? This thing came down?
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyways, I was still brand new to the whole thing. So anyways, that very next day, right before he starts a little puja ceremony, which I'll talk another time regarding that. It's just to get everybody grounded and so on. Out of the Atlantic Ocean, about 2 miles from us, all of a sudden this craft just comes in into our 3D. You can just see it just poof into.
Is that the one you have the video of?
Yeah. And he's like, and everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God. And he goes, and he told everybody, please stay down, please stay down. And then this thing was just like pulsing, the size of the sun, when the sun is really big and it's just pulsing, and it was gold. And there were other little crafts around it, which I didn't notice till I reviewed the videos months later. And, he's communicating, and he takes his laser and he's kind of circling around it and having communication, and everyone is kind of staying in an open position, trying to communicate with ET beings that are on board. And I don't know, 30 seconds after he circles it with a laser, a second craft next to it out of thin air, you could just see it go, it just pops into this 3D space, and they're both just pulsing.
What was he saying to him?
Communicating telepathically. And he said,
Right, but like, what is he saying? He's like, hey, bring
I
us
don't
some
know.
more?
He didn't share what he actually said. He just said there's beings on board and to welcome them. I don't recall exactly the whole thing, but I was just, at that point, I'm like,
You were sold?
you got to be kidding me. I'm like, I needed 3D manifestation to validate that there's existence, because if you have something subtle, which you have many times nowadays, I'm in that scientific mindset that I really needed proof. And this was the proof. Here we are initiating contact through meditation and boom, this thing. And it just left me stunned. I sat there and just thought, oh my God. And it changed my life forever. It was.
Wait, so can you like initiate him wherever you want now?
Absolutely, you can initiate right here. Absolutely.
Oh my God, we should.
So anyways, I was happy as can be the rest of the week. And I thought, this is great. Made a lot of friends, went back home. And I was like, I got to share this, and I'm like, hey, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, okay. Pass the ketchup. I'm like,
oh, just like nobody believed you?
It just did not sink in. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm telling you, this is what happened. And it's pretty funny because that's people's reaction. We are so preoccupied with our regular life. We're so busy. I mean, we all overwork. We all overwork because society's been structured that way. We're being controlled by the petrodollars, which we get into in another discussion. So we're busy with life, kids and so on.
Right, but they also might think too, like, you went on this trip, they probably like made sure something happened. Do you know what I mean?
He got accused of those things being flares. And the thing is, when I was there, I know what a flare is. We had not only Dr. Greer had night vision. There was no smoke trails, nothing that looked like flares. And there was another guy with these are military grade. These are $7,000, $8,000 to $10,000 night vision military grade.
Yeah.
You can see everything. You can see if there's any smoke trails. You can tell they're flares. None. Unwrap all this. It would be here for a couple days. But anyways, so I'm sorry I'm jumping the gun.
Wait, where are we going? Consciousness.
So anyways, people just weren't believing me. And then at that point, I started realizing that the consciousness part was it was an integral part of contact work.
Okay.
When you can quiet your brain down, all of a sudden your consciousness will show you all sorts of things. Think of the consciousness as being the ocean, and we're just a drop in the ocean. And we all share that commonality of consciousness. But it's not only all human beings share this consciousness, which is the great being or God or whatever you want to call it, but all life forms in the universe share the same consciousness. So that's our common denominator for communication.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I realize is when you can get into the conscious state of mind, they're advanced enough that their consciousness can tap into you, or they have technology that works in conjunction with their consciousness to be able to pick up your thoughts and your conscious
Oh,
mind.
wow.
Absolutely. But when we do that, when we go into group, that's what we start what they call coherent thought sequencing. After we get into that centered mind state of our.
Do you like lead groups now?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
We've gone out here in the soccer field and made contact for several years.
But you have to go at night?
Well, it's the best to see them at night. When we do our contact
Oh
work,
yeah, your little like process.
yeah, we get into a quiet mind. So we meditate. We do either a guided meditation or a quiet meditation. Once you do that, and then you're in that level, then we start what they call CTS, or coherent thought sequencing. And this is something that Greer developed. It's where we actually can use your consciousness to guide the ET crafts to our location. So let's say we're not.
Oh, you can be like, I'm right here.
Yep. Let's say we're in a remote location. Let's say we're in Sedona somewhere. So we're a small group, middle of nowhere. We want to let the ETs know that we're here and we have the intent to make contact. We get into that mindset, and then we start the coherent thought sequencing. And what you do is you envision, you show the ETs your location. Like you say, we are in, the spiral arm of the galaxy, and over here. And then you can zoom in with your mind, with your consciousness. We are in this solar system with the 9 planets or what have you. Here's our sun. We're the 3rd planet, and you can just guide them in. And this is Earth, and we are in the North American continent.
God, they can figure that out.
Yeah, you can.
I can barely figure out how to like walk to your mailbox.
No,
if somebody tells me where the elevator is at a hotel, I'm like, I can't listen.
No, it's easy. I mean, so
the ETs are like, oh, okay, where are you at? Gotcha.
You're going to get them lost. Yeah, it's like they're going to end up somewhere else. So you guide them into the North American continent. We're the southwest quadrant of the United States, and Sedona, and you got them in right down to the circle, and you can actually envision people in your circle and show them the people that are there. This is where we're at. And you just repeat that. So it's coherent thought sequencing. So after you're in that meditative mode where your monkey brain is quiet down, you start that sequence and you over and over. So you're showing them where you're at. We also use lasers, light, to show them our location. Because some people who are new, don't have that ability to guide them properly. Like you would get them
Oh my
lost.
gosh.
Yeah. So you would need a laser because
they'd be like, why am I in Germany?
Who knows where yeah. She's not here. So oops, wrong continent. So anyway, so we'll use lasers and we use sound. There's some crop circle tones. I can talk about it another time too.
What is it, like sound bath stuff?
I'm sorry?
Like a sound bath thing?
Oh, well, you can do singing bowl. No, we use something else. It's the crop circle tones. It's a recording from ETs that were there in Wiltshire in England. I forget what year.
Oh, it's like a deer call.
It was recorded. Yeah, exactly. Like a deer call. Wow. I'll have to remember that. Next time I'm in my group, let's use the deer call.
When they do get shot down, do they obviously like compensate their craft, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Are they in it? Where are the bodies?
We have 756 whistleblower witnesses right now. They will testify under oath for Congress, not the dog and pony show you've been seeing for the last 2 years, where you have, a handful of handpicked people that have not firsthand but secondhand, that have all been intercepted by counterintelligence agents such as Luis Elizondo, who's misinformation agent, and everybody calls him my friend, and every interview done by all the news media shows him. And there's a reason for that. It's because he wants to show transparency with a narrative of threat. And people need to understand that.
So
the only reason these people are being put forward in front of the camera, because they've been paid off, they've been intercepted to promote a narrative of threat. Yes, they want transparency because they can't put the lid on it anymore. But that transparency has a price with it. It's going to be a threat narrative, not the peaceful narrative.
Wait, but where are the beings though?
Well, there's plenty. They'll either die or they'll capture the beings. We have captured ET beings. Absolutely.
We do?
Yeah.
Are they alive?
Yes.
Where are they? Underground
They're all
tunnels?
underground, yeah. Being
Where's the underground area?
Tortured. They're all over. Utah has a lot of. We have. If you go to.
Is this in the black market thing that we can't?
Well, it's not a black market, but yes.
Whatever it's called, black projects?
Yeah, black projects, yeah. Unacknowledged special access projects. Yeah. You should watch the movie Unacknowledged.
I know, it's not on my list, but I haven't had a second.
But the ET beings that we have are live beings, and they're, from other parts of the galaxy. And
that's sad for them.
It's very sad. And that's why we're there trying to do a diplomatic mission of inviting them with no threat, because these groups have pretty much just control the whole narrative and have.
You're like, we're on your team.
Yeah. And they've done this for the petrodollars. I mean, it's just they want everybody to keep paying, $5 right now a gallon, and they keep paying for natural gas. If we were to get our hands on a technology that this group has had for decades, um, it would free us from all that.
Right.
Meaning you could have a machine that's the size of an air conditioner attached to your house, 0 point, doesn't pollute, that provides infinite energy,
Mhm.
lights, it charges your car, what have you, and it's not metered. You don't have to pay anybody anything. Maybe you pay a few $1,000s for the machine at the onset, but it lasts in perpetuity, and you can enjoy free energy.
Mhm.
But that would topple our society. It
Right.
would it would take a multi-trillion dollar infrastructure and destroy it overnight, but it would give you so much more opportunity to take that technology and use it to transform our
So many
society
things.
into
Yeah.
the most utopian society. We would end hunger,
I mean, it would change everything.
everything.
It would be like
Yeah,
taking out the entire bottom of the Jenga thing.
absolutely. But think of it. There's a lot of countries that don't have running water. They still cook on open fires outside.
Right.
This would change everything overnight. There would be no more hunger, no more poverty. Um, you could have a house in Alaska or in North Pole with a greenhouse, and you could grow your own vegetation in the middle of winter because you have free energy to do it.
Right.
It would be
Do
an
you think we're going to
abundant.
get there?
We're trying to. That's what the Disclosure Project is all about. Bring this technology forward. Now, with caution, though, you don't want to
Right.
bring.
It's going to
You
be
don't.
a
Yeah, you
huge.
don't want to
Yeah.
bring the anti-gravity propulsion systems out because that could get in the wrong hands, and now it's a vehicle to send nuclear weapons somewhere else. So that's too much technology for the people to handle. But bring the energy technology out.
Mm.
Bring that. Unshackle us from the oil industry, and we wouldn't have to worry about the Strait of Hormuz and all these wars that we're in. It would change that dramatically.
Mhm.
But the people that control this are part of the petrodollar system, and
They're the Black Project.
they do not want this technology being brought forward.
It'd
No,
be such
but
a
if
hard
you, but if
transition.
it's
I mean, it would be amazing if they did it correctly,
if
but
it's done correctly and it's done strategically and in pieces,
yeah.
bring this forward first, because we also need to elevate ourselves consciously and stop warring and change the society gradually, restructure everything to run on 0 point energy devices, and we can do it. And there's trillions of dollars to be made when we're doing all this stuff,
Right.
retooling everything to accept this new type of energy. It would be wonderful. And the thing is, the prices of everything would drop.
So I want to get into a few rapid fire questions. I like to do this with my guests that are going to be kind of a little bit more just light and fun questions that I'm sure people want.
Sorry, but by the way, we switched from tea to wine.
Yeah, it was time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got a little serious.
Okay. So people have a lot of, I guess, curiosity with people who do these ET expeditions. Are they taking drugs?
I can't answer that question for everyone doing this, but for CE5, the protocols that we follow, absolutely no drugs.
Okay.
No, I mean, you're trying to elevate yourself to a state of consciousness that you're going to communicate with the ETs. ETs don't like to communicate with drunk people or high people.
So they're not into the drugs. So I feel like
Drugs, no.
Is it like psychedelics or what are people doing?
Well, there's a lot of groups out there that will do mushrooms. They'll do ayahuasca. That's a huge thing. And I'll speak for Dr. Greer. Absolutely no drugs, no marijuana, no type of drugs when we're out in the field. When I lead the groups, absolutely no drugs.
Mhm.
You don't need that. I
Right.
mean, if you want to get into the higher level of consciousness and initiate contact, you don't need drugs. I
Right.
mean, you have the power within yourself. You have that ability in there, and you will never achieve that with the influence of drugs. I said I can't answer that for other groups because I know there's other groups, especially some in South America and Central America, that use ayahuasca and so on, and they go out and make contact. I can't speak for them, but I would not advocate that at all. None of us do that. It's not necessary to make contact.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is random, but do ETs have like genders?
Yes,
They do?
they
Is
do.
it like
Absolutely.
male, female?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
is there
Male
more?
and female, yeah. No, they have and they have kids. So what's interesting
Like,
is
what are they doing on these other planets?
they
Like
live their
building
lives.
houses and working jobs?
Yeah, they live their lives.
What are their lives though? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know exactly what they're doing, but think of it as 1,000 years from now, we're going to be more advanced, so technologically, hopefully spiritually.
So very futuristic.
Yeah, so 1,000 years from now, if once we leave our solar system, start traversing the skies or the stars, other less developed people are going to ask, what do we do? Well, we live our lives. We have children. We're now become explorers, of the universe, and
Yeah.
that's what these guys are, explorers of the universe. They
So
stop.
we're like the olden days.
We're the olden days, yeah. Yeah. We're still the chimps. We just, we're still the primates,
Yeah.
clubbing each other for
We're the ghetto
everything.
and the old
We're the
school.
ghetto, yeah, yeah. I can just imagine what they think of us. We're trying to.
They're probably like, God, again?
Yeah, I'm not going down there. Alfred, you go.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
my
not going down there.
gosh.
Not with those chimps. If we start advancing into space, which, by the way, we've been warned off, the ETs will not let us. We've been quarantined. The ETs are not going to let us go,
Will
into
they shoot
space.
us off?
They won't shoot us, but they'll stop us. They have technology that'll stop us. And again, what I said earlier is we've been warned off the moon. When we went there with the Apollo missions, they were there, all up on the on top of the crater, looking at us. And after a few explorations,
They're like, get out. You're not mature enough.
you can't weaponize space.
You're not responsible
You're not
enough to
bringing
be
your
here.
weapons into this area.
Wait, are there aliens? Shit, I'm really bad. Sorry, aliens.
ETs,
ETs. Are there ETs?
non-human intelligence.
Yeah. Are there any more within like our galaxy?
They're
Or
everywhere.
when people are like, is there life on Mars?
There's a base on Mars, an ET base. Where they are from originally, I don't know, but there's an ET base.
So are most of these ETs are not from like Saturn or Uranus?
Mm,
They're from like different galaxies.
Most
right?
of them, yeah, from other star systems, absolutely. Not necessarily other galaxies, other star systems. They could be from other galaxies as well, but they're from other star systems. Yes.
Do you think there's ETs or, I guess, like communities on any other planets like within our solar system?
Yes.
Like Jupiter and all those?
Yes. When the first Voyager, was sent out and it flew by Saturn, it photographed a massive, I don't know how many mile long, like space station within the ring of Saturn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, massive, massive. And that was back in the 70s, I believe. Yeah. So there's a space station there. There's a base on Mars. There's base on the moon that's been confirmed by the astronauts, which won't come forward, obviously. In terms of Venus, I don't know if there's any inhabitants. I just know that base on Mars, base on the moon, and that massive, massive base in Saturn, rings of Saturn. From ETs and from extraterrestrials that are
From different
monitoring
ones.
our Earth. Yeah,
That makes sense. They're using the other planets to monitor us because we're
Yeah.
literally out of control.
Or
They're babysitting
and
us.
they've been monitoring us for a very long time. Again, it's not a hostile intention. Otherwise, we would have been exterminated a long time ago. They're not going to take over the planet because they would have taken over the planet when we were still, in huts.
Right.
They didn't
Oh,
need
yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
they
Why
don't
would
need to
they-
wait till we get nuclear weapons. They could have done it 100, 200 years ago, 500
Right.
years ago. Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't they then?
Do you think they would like intercept if we were about to like self-destruct?
I think the
Like if
only
we fully were about to just blow up the whole Earth, would they?
this will be interesting. They've interjected before when we had our ridiculous escalation of nuclear weapons and it started malfunctioning.
Mm.
They've interfered and shut down nuclear weapons. Again, what you see, the testimony in Congress is, oh, they're around our nuclear missile bases and it's a threat. No, they were shutting down improper
They were taking
systems.
guns out of toddlers' hands.
Yeah, they were trying to correct issues that we had, very concerned that we're going to blow ourselves up. That's the only time they interfered. And there's a witness that came forward. They were actually veering. We had to acknowledge to veer an asteroid that was going around the sun, and we were veering it to skim close to our atmosphere, so it would create this massive tidal waves and cause havoc on this planet. These are our own people. And the ETs interjected, and were able to push that asteroid away. We initiated the close contact with it. This witness came forward, credible witness, saying that this is exactly what we were up to, and the ETs intervened again. So
So they're helping us.
they're helping us. From my understanding, the only time they would intervene is if we go into a full nuclear
Like
war.
warfare.
If we, I think that's the only time they would intervene. They don't intervene. They let us do our own thing, probably shaking their heads at our
They're
stupidity.
judging us.
Yeah. As soon as they interfere to some degree, all of a sudden it's
They're the
going to
bad guy.
on the front news or in the front page of every newspaper and in every news media, we're being attacked by ETs. Here they're coming in, they're doing this, they've shot down one of our whatever, and again they're attacking us. So
This is like a divorce.
they'll never do that. So
Oh my gosh.
however,
that's
they're
crazy.
getting very tired of us shooting them down. Yeah. So everybody sees the Tic Tac on the congressional hearings. That's a joke. That's Lockheed. That's Lockheed. Tic Tac. They call it the Tic Tac UFO. That you see in the
okay.
news. So that's not ET. That's one of ours. That's engineer. And I have documentation showing the development of Tic Tac back to the late 60s over Pennsylvania. And then there's a witness just came forward, that being loaded or unloaded from a plane in the Gulf War. I'm not sure what the use of it was. So when you see these congressional hearings and the pilots are going, "Oh, look at this! It's traveling so fast and nothing that we have no technology can do that." Bullshit. We have the technology. It's our technology. It's not ET technology. The problem is the pilots are not read into those projects. Again,
So it looks crazy to the pilots.
So the pilots believe it's ET because in their mind,
Nobody told them it was
they're in a
staged.
fighter jet, whatever F-16, whatever they're flying. When something can go from 0 to 100,000 miles an hour, to them, we don't have that technology, but we do. They don't know it. So their only explanation is it's got to be ET, and that's what they keep promoting. For Arrow keeps giving the Congress these videos. But again, they're ours.
Okay, so people who want to deep dive even further after this, what types of people or programs should they avoid? Like, what things are out there right now that
Avoid the
might
entire internet.
What is misinforming people?
Everybody. The thing is, it's so funny, being involved with this at the level that I'm involved right now and seeing what's happened in transformation. It's mind-boggling. And for somebody just starting out, I can just see it's so confusing because even within our C5 groups, there's so much disinformation out there. I mean, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon of, the ET phenomena and so on, but 99.99% of what you see out there is nothing but rubbish.
Who are the like top 5 people that you're like, stop listening to them? Or are we going to get killed?
Stop listening
Are
to
we going to
them?
get killed for saying that?
I don't want to bring names.
Is there like organizations
Oh, yeah.
or pages that you're like, okay, don't follow this
Well,
page?
the thing is, a lot of these have been set up by the intelligence community. I mean,
To brainwash?
they've been funded to disinform the public. I would stick with Greer. Greer
is it?
Dr. Greer will never put anything forward that hasn't been validated, verified. He doesn't do any research on Google or the internet.
Do the ETs love him?
Yes, they do.
As soon as he's like, "You guys ready?" They come running.
Well, he had a lot of contact experience. He actually died when he was 17 years old.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he died and came back. And
how?
He had a injury to his leg, and he actually died. And he saw a lot of things.
That's when he was like, "Oh my gosh, there's ETs."
Well, he just realized that life, that our souls are eternal, that consciousness is eternal. That was a really wild experience for him. And he became he became a meditation teacher before he started doing this. And he was a emergency room. He was a doctor. He gave up that whole career for the disclosure because when he first got into it, he realized when he briefed forget the CIA director that he briefed, they were not read into any of this. Neither was the president. He said, "How can the president or the director of the CIA not be briefed on these on what's going on here?" They're not. They're kept secret. And as he started getting more involved with this and more witnesses started coming forward, he realized, hey, there's a group running these operations with no congressional or executive oversight. It's an illegal group. And the things that they're due, which we can't talk about now, but we can talk about it in maybe another episode, are illegal. There's a lot of drug trafficking, human trafficking, murder, things of that nature. So there is no protection for this group. It's working for the illegal. It's like working for the mafia.
Yeah, like they're covered. They're untouchable.
I have to be careful here.
You're trying to
because
pick
of the
your words.
Epstein situation.
Ooh, are we tying this into the whole ET
they are
thing?
inhibiting the full disclosure. Let's just say that.
Wait, so you think the Epstein thing still has power over stuff?
Oh yeah, that was a big setup, an intentional setup. It wasn't just Epstein doing this. It was just done by the
I gotta know.
intelligent.
I'm sorry, I gotta know.
Let's leave that for another.
Are you sure?
Yeah, not right now. It's too much. There's a lot of power and a lot of manipulation going on in our government, and that's why I want people to be aware that what we're being fed is somewhat the disclosure, but not really full not full transparency. What really worries me is when you see the vice president 2 weeks ago when he's being interviewed in one of the podcasts, and they asked him about ETs, and so I think they're demons, but that's another story. I won't get into that now.
Somebody told him to say that.
Keep this in mind. This is a guy one step away from being president, and he thinks that ETs are demons.
But does he think that though, or does he think he's...
Well, he's been also intercepted with the likes of Luis Elizondo and Paul Mellon and a bunch of other people.
He's been uneducated.
He's been manipulated, let's say that. Manipulated. Some of the senators or governors like Tim Burchett and Burleson, those are top people which are doing a great job. They're read into it. They're still trying to be misinformed, but they're fully read into this information. The rest of them are not. The rest are being manipulated. There are very high up people that right now are being held at ransom by the Epstein files to make sure that this thing gets railroaded. And that's why this information is not coming forward. And you have to be careful of the narrative that's coming out of these congressional hearings. That's all I can say.
The Dr. Greer podcast?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of them will have
so the Dr. Stephen Greer podcast.
Yeah. And go to drstephengreer.com so you can see videos and you can see
well, what's your YouTube page called?
humaninitiatedcontact.com right here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, .com. That's your website.
That's my website.
But then you have a YouTube page too.
Human Initiated Contact. Yeah.
With your videos that we were talking about earlier from the excursions.
I have a bunch of videos. So as you shut that the brain down, then you can actually communicate with your higher consciousness.
Right, like your higher self.
Yeah.
I feel like that's trending right now, the higher self.
Yeah, and again, I think most people are going through that and don't realize it. There's a thirst for something. People don't know what it is. Hey, I do feel like
there is.
Curious about this, blah, blah, blah. And that's what led me to the path that I went through is curiosity of something's not right. There's something
more. There's something more.
But what's interesting out of this whole thing with my contact experience and so on, it's also more an understanding. It becomes an understanding of yourself, of your higher self that you weren't aware of it. And it took me the ET path to come back and realize that the contact that I'm making is also a contact with myself.
Right. And some people's path might be different.
Yeah. I think we sprinkled a lot of seeds and
we did sprinkle some seeds. Follow up on that. Yeah, we could do a part 2. Because I feel like once we drop this one, people are going to be like, I need more. I have questions. And then a lot of times they actually send me the questions, which I love. So if you have questions about this, send them to me because we'll get them answered.
Perfect. I'll do the best that I can. Yeah.
Yes.
And everything I tell you is experience that I had. I'm not going to fabricate anything. So
he's no fake news.
There's no fake news. Yeah. Be careful. There's a lot of fake news out there.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being open to all this. Well, I love that this was your first podcast.
It is my first podcast.
There's going to be a lot of people that are mind blown by this and going down the rabbit hole with us. So
great.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. I feel like we really just started scratching the surface of everything that Marcel has learned and experienced. Huge thank you to Marcel for sharing his perspective and the work that he's doing with Dr. Greer. I feel like this topic really challenges us to think bigger and stay curious and kind of just be open to exploring new ideas of things that exist far beyond our everyday life. I have all of Marcel's information in the show notes, his website, his YouTube page. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends, give us a review, give us a 5-star, leave us a comment. It helps push the podcast out to new audiences. Check the show notes for all of these links and information and different ways to connect with us. I love getting feedback from all the listeners and just connecting with you as we navigate through all of these different fun topics. If you want us to do a part 2 with Marcel, please send me your questions, send me your ideas. And other than that, stay tuned for next week for another interesting episode. Again, I'm Brittany Racine with Mike It Loud, and we'll see you next week.